the Fed is losing its independence to the executive branch, and that is a problem. And Joe Biden wants that problem, right? I mean, he wants more control. The solution for Joe Biden to a lack of ability is more control. Meanwhile, Joe Biden can't even control his own party. Right? So the internal Democratic war continues apace. So yesterday, Joe Biden is now seeing that the American public hate his guts and are not interested in his party controlling Congress. His new answer is just a plain old conspiracy theory. If we lose, it's because they rigged the elections. Now, again, it is incredible to me that we have spent a couple of years here talking about how Donald Trump perverted American elections and he's undermining faith in American elections. Meanwhile, the president of the United States is literally going around to places like Georgia and saying that if votes take place under current rules, it will have been rigged. That any election procedure that takes place in a Republican state can effectively be questioned and thrown out because the procedures are rigged. What he is saying is no different than anything Trump said, except he has even less evidence of voter suppression than Trump had of election fraud. And yet the media are just on top. Like, this is what Joe Biden tweeted yesterday. He tweeted this. Jim Crow 2.0 is about two insidious things: voter suppression and election subversion. It's about making it harder to vote, who gets to count the vote, and whether your vote counts at all. We have to pass the Freedom to Vote Act and John Lewis voting rights advancement. Okay, so Jim Crow 2.0. So he's immediately saying that every election security law in America is about preventing black people from voting. It's Jim Crow 2.0. He says it's about voter suppression. Name the voter who has been suppressed, Mr. President. A voter, one, just one, who's been suppressed, who's been prevented from voting in the United States. Name a human. One. It shouldn't be hard. You're saying it's happening millions and millions and millions of times over in Republican states right now. Name them. Name one. You can't, because it's a lie. He's saying that not only are you preventing people from voting, you are then subverting elections by literally changing the counts, right? He's saying who gets to count the vote is the real question. Right? You're changing he's accusing Republicans of not only rigging who gets to vote, but then rigging how the votes are actually counted. That is a full-fledged conspiracy theory. It's madness. Okay, so he's failed on every front. And so his new solution is to suggest that votes are being stolen in the United States and that everyone who opposes him is a vicious racist in favor of Jim Crow. Meanwhile, he's trotting out Jen Psaki to explain that, when he says that you love segregation and that you're with Bull Connor, that's not divisive. That's just the truth.
The president delivered a powerful speech about the protection of people's fundamental rights in this country, which is their right to vote, their right to vote for anyone they choose, whether it is him or someone else. It was not a partisan speech. It was intended to lay out for the public exactly what's at stake and lay out for elected officials what's at stake. And he stands by everything he said in that speech.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does because he's got nothing else. When in doubt, if you're a Democrat, call everybody a racist. And the person who probably is best placed to call everybody a racist is an 80-year-old white man who used to hang out with George Wallace in the Senate. Probably that guy. That one. Good call there. By the way, he's destroying his own party. This idiot is so bad at this, he's destroying his own party right now. He has Chuck Schumer up on the Hill proposing a vote on this voting rights bill, this nonsense garbage federalization of elections bill. And he doesn't even have full Democratic support for it. Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema don't even support it. Yeah, this is crazy. He's so out of control and so incompetent at this that he's not content with destroying his own executive branch leadership. He's destroying his own Senate majority in real time at the behest of Chuck Schumer, who's simply trying to avoid a primary from AOC. It's unbelievable. So, in synopsis, is this guy a good president? This guy is the worst single president in American history after 1 year. Man, I cannot wait to see what the next few years bring. My goodness. The battle for the culture is heating up. We here at the Daily Wire are making some big moves. So be sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell, because you're not going to want to miss a single moment.